I believe that Near is insane, much like Snoop Dogg's hairline, which is all the way back here. He has to shave his cornrows. And why is that? It's because ever since I started talking about Near, it's since done nearly a 7x in terms of price increase. I mean, can you just imagine that? Caralho. So I did a good call on that in my opinion. Now, when I was first talking about Near, everyone thought that it was caca. They thought it was doo-doo. They thought it was trash. They thought that the name sounds corny. But these critics, again, right, they're now running over to their girlfriend's boyfriend's grandma because they can't believe what's happening. But in my opinion, Near, it still has a ways to go because I think that during the peak of this bull run, it could hypothetically at least go to the price of $50. And of course, that's not financial advice. But why is that? It's because I think that Near, it's very fantastic. If we take a look at the Near protocol, what is it, right? It's a proof of stake blockchain that utilizes sharding technology in order to achieve scalability. And now, when I say sharding, I'm not talking about the one with the T, right? The one that's doo-doo in the pants. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about sharding. And when it comes to sharding, what it does is that it splits the network into multiple sections known as shards. And workload on the network is distributed across these different shards. And as a result of that, the Near protocol, again, becomes highly scalable, and overall it just becomes very fantastic. That's just a very fancy way of saying how the Near protocol is very scalable. That's what she said. And here's the crazy thing, right? The Near protocol currently has over 50 million unique addresses, and it even has been able to facilitate over 400 million transactions so far. I mean, that's crazy, man. That's a statistic that's gonna blow people's hairs back, much like Snoop Dogg's hairline yet again. But besides that point, the Near protocol, in my opinion, represents something very amazing because oftentimes people, they think that Ethereum, for whatever reason, they think it's the best layer 1 blockchain out there. But I disagree because when we take a look at Ethereum, a lot of people, they argue that it's not even scalable. And also on top of that, gas fees are sky high. I mean, it's insane. But you don't see any of that type of craziness on the Near protocol. You just don't see it, right? The Near protocol, highly scalable, gas fees are extremely cheap. Sometimes people, they just don't get it, right? They think that, it's just another blockchain, but it's not that special. But I disagree. It's a lot better than what people consider the best, which is Ethereum, which I don't think it's the best. And also, just from an investment standpoint of view, why would I even get Ethereum? Market cap is way too high. It's complete nonsense, in my opinion. It was good back in 2018, but in 2024, we're looking for the next big thing here. We're looking for the Near protocol, at least I am, and that's the way I view it. However, it doesn't end there because there's currently over 700 active projects and also over 200 applications as well. And let's not forget, the Near protocol has one of the best staking ratios out there. As a matter of fact, it has a higher staking ratio than Polygon. And when it comes to Polygon, a lot of people think it's amazing. So when it comes to the Near protocol, man, it's very fantastic if you ask me. And now, Near at the price of $50, it may sound insane to some people, right? They may think, wow, why do you think it's going to go to $50? But here's the thing. It's actually not as outlandish as what some people may think because when you think about it, right? Near at the price of $50, considering its current circulating supply, at that point, market cap would only be around $52 billion. And now, that sounds insane, but here's the thing. I think oftentimes people don't understand that in the world of cryptocurrencies, this isn't all that ridiculous. I mean, you take a look at, for instance, Dogecoin, all-time high market cap, around $88 billion. I mean, isn't that crazy? Reaching over $50 billion in market cap in the world of cryptocurrencies, it's not unheard of. You can't even really compare when it comes to the fundamentals, right? I'm not talking about the community, I'm not talking about the fans, I'm just talking about pure fundamentals. You can't even compare the Near protocol to something like Doge. It's complete nonsense in my opinion. I mean, Doge, it's a very caca meme coin. It was caca back in 2021, and it's caca right now. It seems like it's going backwards, right? We take a look at its main competitor, Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu, I think, is moving in a positive direction. Doge is just moving backwards. Shiba Inu, there's Shibarium, layer 2 solution, fantastic. Shib the metaverse, Shiba Swap, Shiba Eternity. It's just a lot better than Doge in my opinion. And of course, that's not financial advice, but come on, man. Dogecoin around $88 billion in market cap. Why can't Near during the peak of this bull run at least go to around $52 billion in market cap? Why not, right? You got to take this into consideration. As of right now, Bitcoin is popping off. Ethereum, even though it's a dinosaur project, it's also popping off. But this is historically in line with what usually happens because when you think about it, historically speaking, usually these bigger caps, they're going to pop off first, right? We take a look at, for instance, it's happening right now, just like I mentioned before. Bitcoin popping off, Ethereum, we take a look at Solana, etc., right? Many are popping off, at least the big ones. And what's going to happen eventually? these people, they're going to take profits, right? And they're going to get bored. They're going to say, hey, we want gains again. And what's going to happen? They're going to put their capital into relatively smaller projects, much like, for instance, in the case of the Near protocol, in Near. And when that happens, right, that's when the altcoin season truly kicks in because, again, Bitcoin pops up, people take profits, they start putting it into smaller projects. And man, I think that the peak of this altcoin season is going to be insane because when you think about it, as of right now, right, according to Crypto.com research, there's around 575 million people owning cryptocurrencies, which, by the way, is nearly double the amount that we saw back in the 2021 bull run. So when you think about that, the 2021 bull run, it was already crazy, but now we, essentially nearly double that amount of crypto owners. I mean, the FOMO is going to be ridiculous, in my opinion. I mean, it's going to be like nothing else. And also, we take into consideration how institutions, more than ever before, are adopting cryptocurrencies. They're looking into blockchain technology, and many of them have already adopted blockchain technology. So it's very different from back in 2021. Investors nowadays, they're more educated than ever before. Back in 2021, you couldn't really find solid information when it comes to cryptocurrencies. At least that's the way I view it, right? At that time, people were just like FOMOing into random projects. They didn't really know what it was all about. But as of right now, people, they know a lot more about cryptocurrencies, in my opinion. It's more publicized, right? It's more out there. A lot of people know it. So a lot of people nowadays, they actually know about the projects. And I think this is why we're seeing the Near protocol, just doing so amazing as of late, right? We're seeing Near just pop off because I think people, they had time to understand that, hey, this is an amazing project. This right here is something that could be so fantastic, which is why, again, we're seeing the price pop off. But in my opinion, this is just the beginning. It's just a small taste. And I think that during the peak of this bull run, it could hypothetically at least go to the price of $50. And here's the thing. In my opinion, a lot of people, they often make irrational moves. And what do I mean by this, right? People oftentimes, they have a misconception that when cryptocurrencies pump, they think that it's just going to be a straight shot all the way up without any pullbacks. But in my opinion, that's actually not the case. Because for instance, right, we take a look at Bitcoin. Yes, Bitcoin, over the past 10 years or ever since its creation, it just went up, right? But we take a look at it. It's not a smooth sailing upwards. Multiple bear markets, there's a pump, a pullback, but the general direction is going to be upwards. And I think that exact same thing is going to happen to Near during the peak of this bull run because we take a look at Near, right? I think that it's just not going to have a straight shot up. I think it's going to have a pump, pullback, quite essentially the pullbacks are to kind of weed out the paper hands, right? Or the people that take profits early. But for every seller, there's a buyer. So when people are panic selling, there's someone else out there that's quite essentially buying. At least that's the way I view it. So when it comes to Near, I don't think it's just going to randomly pop off. It's going to take time, for the capital to flow out, from Bitcoin, Ethereum, and whatnot. And it's going to take time for people to truly kick in their FOMO when it comes to Near. But when it happens, it's going to be crazy. And I dollar cost average because when it comes to people who make irrational moves, when they make emotional decisions, that's usually when bad things happen. Because people, they oftentimes, they want to day trade. They want to get quick gains, right? They use leverage. They use, 50x, 75x, 100x leverage. And what happens? Most often than not, they get wrecked. I'm not saying everyone, right? But from my experience, from a lot of people that I've seen, a lot of them do get absolutely cooked. They get fried, quite essentially. Kentucky Fried Chicken style, KFC, you dig? AKA, Carl's Jr., whatever. But yeah, you get my point, right? They end up becoming a sandwich, quite essentially. And it's usually bad. They make, bad moves. Let's say they short, right? The price of Near pumps. They get liquidated, they get stop loss, and they get angry. Now they're seeing the price pump. They're saying, okay, now it's time to go long, right? 100x leverage, we're going long, we're going all the way to the top. Then what happens? Pullback, liquidated, stop loss. And then they're in panic mode where they enter this vicious cycle where they just end up spiraling and they think that cryptos are a joke. They leave, which is, in my opinion, it doesn't have to be that way, right? Which is why dollar cost average. So anytime I earn any sort of income, I set aside some for Near. I've been acquiring Near for around a year at this point. So I've been acquiring for quite some time now. And I just acquire anytime I earn income, I hold, and I'm just waiting for the peak of the bull run. That's it. I'm not focused on what happens to the price, in the next 10 minutes, next 2 days. Who cares about that, to be honest, right? I'm not a day trader. I don't use leverage. I don't care about that. If my portfolio's down, let's say profits are down 20%, 30%, there's a pullback, so be it. I'm not a day trader where I'm concerned about that, right? By dollar cost averaging, by just holding, I'm not getting liquidated. There's losses. Okay, sure, I'll just acquire more. Profit down 20, 30%. Hey, I'll just keep holding. That's it. I'm just waiting for the peak of that bull run, quite essentially speaking. You know, when people make irrational moves, when they make any moves, just in general in real life, right, with a high sense of emotion, you know, when the emotions levels are high, that's usually when disaster starts to kick in. That's usually when bad decisions are made. So that's why I don't want that, right? I just want to keep things simple. I dollar cost average, and that way I keep my emotions in check when it comes to investing. Because when it comes to investing, sometimes it could be very emotional. You know, sometimes you see your portfolio down, you see your friend investing in another cryptocurrency, it's popping off. You know, some people, they can't handle that, right? Sometimes they panic sell, they try to FOMO into another project, or they don't believe in this project, they panic sell, they try to use leverage because they want to catch up to their friend. But it doesn't have to be that way, right? You know, everyone has their time to shine. At least that's the way I view it. That's why I'm being patient and I'm just acquiring NIR on a consistent basis. I'm extremely bullish. You know, $50 during the peak of this bull run wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. And also on top of that, make sure to check out this very fantastic video. I think you all would really love it. It's been Lee the Captain. I'll catch you all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.